Alistair, annoyingly early as usual.
Of course. I don't suppose you realize that being on time is preferable to being late. It was never something fashionable to do, but you seem to have not gotten the memo.
Oh, I'm sorry. Was the little prince getting lonely? Did no one want to listen to your endless lectures on proper etiquette?
As brutish as ever, Perseus. How easy it was to recognize that behavior of yours from all those years ago. But at least one of us grew up to be civilized.
A real prince has no need to be civilized. I am a strong, feared warrior. I know how to use any weapon handed to me. You are nothing but a sly fox in fancy clothing.
My, aren't you one to talk? Then I suppose you have some sort of excuse for that mess you made the last time we hired you and your men to procure untainted beast pelts and horns. Or do you often sell your product with poisonous glands still attached to them?
A bit of poison builds character, helps protect you against any assassins that might add a little surprise to your drink. Besides, you didn't say how to bring the beast, simply to bring it with you. It's not my fault you didn't bother to check it before doing whatever it is you do with such creatures.
Why waste your time brute forcing your way to a barely functional regime? Better to get rid of the rats than invite them in. There's no need to worry about poison when you can get rid of those who would even consider lacing your drinks to begin with.
You and your metaphors. At least I'm brave enough to admit that no matter how many measures you put in place, these rats will always find a way in. You lie to your citizens that there are no rats. I at least warn my people about them. Besides, we need to set an example for our kingdoms, to protect the citizens from any harm.
How thoughtful of you to want to set a better standard for yourself and your people. Maybe you should start by updating those archaic laws of yours, so you can find yourself at the steps of other kingdoms begging for scraps. Oh, but then I might need to start doing some extra work to find my people somewhere decent to trade their wares.
At least my people aren't criminals. Filling a kingdom with strong warriors and a strong sense of honor keeps crime at the low.
How rude. My people have always been law-abiding citizens. Your ancestors said it themselves, didn't they? We vowed to protect all citizens within the walls of our kingdom. I see no problem with you so graciously welcoming my people into your land with open arms.
I fail to see why we should protect those who contribute nothing to the kingdom. You exploited our generosity many times before, and I won't let you do it again. Your people do nothing but run wild around the kingdom, causing chaos and mischief wherever they go.
Maybe it's that barbaric mindset you all have that makes it difficult to comprehend trade outside of the rudimentary knowledge that product of equal value can be exchanged for one another. But we both played by the rules. You agreed to allow my people to trade in your land. If you have a problem with that, you should consider making decisions with your head instead of your fists.
Using fancy wording will not confuse me this time. Just because my people have bronze does not mean we lack brains. One that will benefit us both this time, and not just give your people an excuse to live rent-free in my kingdom.
Ah yes, they still never learn, do they? One party after another, and nothing to come from it other than a bunch of drunkards. But perhaps our dear friend only invited us for the sole purpose of entertaining themselves by making us all look so foolish.
That seems to be the only thing we can agree on. This pathetic excuse for a kingdom wants us to play nice and forget all the rotten history our kingdoms have with each other. Although the one place this kingdom does have is good food.
Honestly, I could use something to drink, so I could forget you're standing right in front of me.
I'll do something even better. I'll go fetch us a servant.
Try not to butcher any of them. I like mine intact.
Where can a prince find a decent-looking servant around here? Oh, hello. Aren't you a cute little thing? You'll do nicely. And look, you've already got some drinks for us already. Perfect. This must be my lucky day to find a pretty servant such as yourself. Far more appealing to look at than the others I've seen. Show me a smile, and at least pretend to be enjoying the company of a royal. Especially one as strong as me. I mean, just look at these big muscles. I've got the handsome looks to match. Fine, I'll let you do your job. Follow me, and be quick about it. I am not a patient prince. Alright, Alistair. I fetched us some drinks and a servant to play with.
My goodness! You didn't handpick one that would indulge your delusions of character building, did you? Or maybe our hosts have their own plans for us. They aren't doing themselves any favors by being so open about their taste and poison themselves. Maybe their plan was to have us unwittingly test out their finest hemlock wine. Oh, but this one is too sweet to do such a thing, aren't you? I imagine you must have the most beautiful parents. Oh, what a shame. At the very least, they were generous enough to bless you with such fairness and grace. Did they at least bless the world with more children? Oh, but I know you must be the loveliest. Unfortunate that the world is not so lucky to have more like you to grace with your presence.
Alistair, just asking about the family life and call the servant pretty. No need to overcomplicate flirting. Such pretty creatures deserve to be adored, not sent in a whirlwind of words that could have been one line.
Maybe dragging prospective lovers to your bed with few words is some sort of outdated custom of yours. But I'm certain most decent individuals would prefer to get to know you first, before they allow a man with a brain the size of a pea to ruin their imagine of romance.
My lovers don't need fancy words to be won over with. They see these muscles and swoon. You're just upset you need to convince people to keep you company. And trust me, nothing about all this is the size of a pea. I mean, just look at these. You touch all you want, pretty, potted plant.
You might want to consider working on your pet names. If you can't even seduce a servant, well, what makes you think you possibly have any chance with royalty?
Alistair, I have no interest in flirting with stuck-up and slimy royalty like yourself. This little servant is far more interesting. And since you're so confident at better pet names, why don't you come up with one?
You need to learn a bit of patience. Perseus, it would do you some good. And I believe our sweet little friend should have a say in what sounds best. What would be best, dear? Tulips? Sunflowers? Poppies, perhaps? Honestly, you're just as cute as a poppy. That same striking red, but so delicate.
Real original, basing the name of the servant's clothes. But I will admit, Poppy is a cute name to give our friend here. Very fitting, too.
Yes. Now be a good pupil and watch how to properly make someone with beauty of this caliber swoon. Oh, what's the matter, little Poppy? Would you prefer if we got to know each other better? Or if you need some time to prepare yourself?
Come on now, Poppy. Don't you want to know anything about how to properly serve royalty? You stay until we say you can leave, and I'm not done playing with you yet.
Have you learned nothing, you brute? Allow our new friend to have some time to get ready for all the fun. At least until the end of the night. Otherwise I might start feeling a bit lonely.
Let me have my fun. I was the one to find this rare flower hidden amongst the weeds. Can you really blame me, though? Such a cute, delicate little flower is just begging to be picked up and tossed about by a warrior like myself. Our flower has no need for a useless prince like yourself.
The only thing my little Poppy will be begging for by the end of the night is to come back home with me. You can spend the next few hours planning how you can entertain yourself for the ride back to your kingdom. Alone. But at the very least, you'll know you can take some credit in helping the two of us find each other.
Oh, as if my Poppy would want to spend an evening with someone who lives in a kingdom filled with common thieves and criminals. Besides, I'm sure my Poppy likes someone with a little more meat on his bones, and plenty of muscle to carry my flower anywhere. Isn't that right, Poppy?
No thief or criminal can step anywhere near my quarters, and that is all that matters. But please, do make some preparations for tonight, my dear. I don't like to be kept waiting too long. So fitting that I get to pluck you right out of the garden myself. Such a beautiful garden. If you didn't know any better, you'd waltz right in here, without a care in the world to admire the scenery, for a brief moment before you drop dead, of course. Your king is a funny sort of man. He claims to rule over the most just of kingdoms, and strives to create a peace throughout the lands. And yet right at the center of his palace lies a bed of poisonous plants, unprotected and so approachable. You'd almost think he rids the world of conflict by weeding out unwanted guests through their own curiosity. Does he have you attend his plants too? Or do you just admire that which is so unattainable and dangerous? Oh, I thrive on danger, my dear. I like being as close to anything that could take my breath away in an instant. Did you know that poppies can do just that? Close up your throat once it's right past your tongue. Why don't I show you? Come closer so I can have a taste.
Alistair! You are not sniping Poppy from me. I'm not letting you take anything else from me. If you want my Poppy, you're gonna have to pry the flower out of my cold, dead arms.
Then by all means, drop dead. There's a perfectly fine garden right here for you to take a stroll through.
No, we are going to prove which one of us is truly worthy of having Poppy. If anything, my flower deserves to be with a real prince, which is me. But to indulge this fantasy you have, we'll play a game to earn our flower.
I thought Battle of Wits were too complicated for someone like you. What can I possibly expect other than you making a fool of yourself like you always do?
You better shut that slimy mouth of yours before I toss you in that garden over there. No, I have something better in mind. We get 2 drinks, add poison to them, and whoever survives gets Poppy.
Think your years of downing anything you can get your hands on will save you? Fine. Then let's test that.
Wait, seriously? Just like that? I don't need to threaten you or anything.
Of course. This kingdom wants to end our fighting. Putting one of us out of our misery should do the trick.
Very well then. Poppy, go fetch the drinks. I'll go get the poison. There should be plenty to choose from in the garden.
And let you pick something you know you can tolerate. I think it's best we have Poppy decide for us.
Letting the delicate flower go into a dangerous garden shows what kind of prince you are. But fine, I'll agree to this. Don't take too long, my Poppy. The sooner we can be alone together, the better. Poppy, be sure to pick a flower closer to the entrance to the garden for me, whichever one you like most.
Oh, aren't you so sweet? Getting to see what gets picked under the guise of protecting the love of your life. I'd almost guess you actually care.
I am just giving what my Poppy rightfully deserves.
A one-way ticket to your death, I would hope so.
Drink your poison before I toss you the aconitum.
Gladly. What did you say this was again? Yes, of course.
What's that, Alistair? Trying to say something smug again?
Perseus, what even... I didn't even...
Finally, that slimy fox is gone. What? You must think I'm some brainless hunk. No, I do have some brain to match all this brawn. Alistair had to go, and, well, he was too sure that he had to win, that he was deaf to what I told you earlier. This kingdom keeps a conatum near the front of the garden, and, well, considering that's where I told you to pick the flower from... Don't feel too bad. He had it coming. I knew Alistair's kingdom was full of no-good criminals, so when he asked for a certain beast known for its poisonous something, it was too obvious to ignore. Thanks to eating a lot of questionable substances, I've grown an immunity to most poison. Not one that has managed to kill me, which I know is kind of obvious, but still. It's a coward's death, and it's how Alistair deserved to go. Aconitum is a poison that kills you if you so much as touch it, so there's no way he was going to survive. And I knew I'd live because my kingdom is rather fond of these plants too, so it was only natural for me to develop an immunity to these. I know it's dangerous, but I'm rather fond of danger. Can't you see all these scars, all these battle wounds? They're there because I earned them, slayed for them, won countless battles for them. You can touch. I know you want to. Get a good feel for my muscles. Speaking of scars, I can see you lack them. I wouldn't mind giving you a few. Such pretty skin deserves to add a few extra decorations to it. Come on, wouldn't you like a few pretty marks on your skin? Especially from me, your favorite prince. It'll be a constant reminder of how much I love you, and how I'll always be there to protect you. Don't be scared, getting a scar doesn't hurt too much. If you let me give you one, I'll let you give me one in return. You can put it right across my heart. It's cliché, but where else would be more fitting? Unless you're thinking of a place much lower. What a beautiful shade of pink. No, red your face is turning. You're actually becoming your name. How fitting. I wouldn't mind seeing where else turns red when I talk in a way so unfitting for a prince. How about I bring you in closer, wrap my hands around your waist and pull you in until you're right up to my chest, with nowhere to run, no way to escape. It's no use trying to escape my arms, little poppy. I'm stronger than any man, and I could lift two of you. And once I decide there's something I want, I'll do anything to get it, and make sure I keep it. I'll take good care of you, my little flower, and if anyone even dares attempt to take you away from me, I've got plenty of poisonous plants to go round. Look at you, so soft and delicate. So small and in need of a strong prince to whisk you away on his horse. Speaking of... Come on. Let's leave this pathetic excuse of a kingdom so I can show you how a real prince rules his land. Your king won't miss just one servant, and he certainly won't try taking you back or throwing a fit over it out of fear of me. Shh. Don't worry that pretty little head of yours. I'll gladly go to war for you, my poppy. I'll do anything to make sure you remain by my side, or even better, in my arms. Now how about a kiss for the long journey ahead of us? Something to keep me motivated, to keep me tamed, until I can whisk you away to my bedchambers. And warriors are known to be gentle when it comes to what happens in our beds. Such sweet lips. I'll make sure to kiss you plenty as soon as we get back, along with finding out what the rest of you taste like. Maybe I'll start with your neck, then along your chest, then maybe all the way down to your... Again with the red face. I can tell we're going to have a long night ahead of us. You can find Alistair's ending over on Man of Culture's channel. Imagine that. Make sure to give him lots of love so he hangs out with me again and thinks I'm a cool guy. Don't let me down.